Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing? I was in here early this morning, chatting it up with you guys. I think I pretty much told everybody hi. If I didn't, then hello, hello, hello. I did just catch Just Me said it's 63 degrees and she's cold. Pat said it's 50. It was 68 here. Good sleeping weather, but I'm not like a sleep in type of person, even though I just don't have the gift of sleep. I know some people do, and I just don't. I wish I did. Plus my cat was driving me insane all night. So how's it going, everybody? We got quite a few things on the table today to discuss. Jagger's innocence. Oh man, it's like John Grisham himself wrote the book, The Innocent Man. I was like, good Lord. It's like he wrote the article himself. It's like, we got it, dude. We've only been saying since the video came out, it could have been anybody. Very odd timing of that article I want to discuss. Had another I wouldn't call it an update, but from a publication, I guess, out of Reno. I'm going to talk a little more about Adventures with Purpose when they were on the interview room. Got a few things to talk about. This is the case we're not supposed to talk about, guys. Hope no one here's using their real name. We're not supposed to talk about this. At this point, we should all be stacked to the ceiling with hobbies. Hobbies and minding our own business. Why is Jag cleared if it's just an accident? We're going to talk about that, Miss Pete, because there's certain lingo and terminology being used loosely for something that they want us to believe was just an accident. And I'm here to say, I hope it was clearly an innocent accident. We know it can't be an innocent accident because according to Bruiser, there was a plethora of drugs and alcohol being given to minors. So we have that definitely going on. I don't understand words like cleared, person of interest, etc., etc. Check It TV. I didn't realize that there was something looming in the universe, if you know what I mean, that there was some big drop coming. I was out of the loop on that. That he released a video yesterday. I saw part of it, basically about Grandma and Grandpa coming to the beach when he came across the laptop, I think the beanie, the bag, and stuff like that. Still, it shouldn't have been left in the lake, period. Grandpa said they left evidence there. That was the word he used. Grandpa used the word evidence. I just found that, not picking on Grandpa by any means. Please don't think that. That's what he said. Not, I can't believe Kylie's stuff was in the lake. I can't believe they left her stuff in the lake. He replied to her personal belongings as evidence. Let's see what our friend Jay thinks about that. Jay, did you happen to see the Check It TV vid drop?
I did, and I don't know why, but he's just not one of my favorite people.
That's okay, dude. You're one of our favorite people. Let's give a round of applause to Jay Woody in the house.
I probably lead with too many emotions sometimes rather than maybe information, but that's kind of how I operate. I'm a profiler at heart, and he doesn't rub me as authentic.
Something's up. Something's up. I didn't realize that there was something going on, that there was going to be a big video drop. I missed all that hoopla. Not that I would need to know, but So when I was told that there was this video that's out now about about the things in the lake. I watched it, and really all I picked up on, because we knew he found some things in the lake, shouldn't have been there. If they were there the whole time, I don't know. Nothing in this makes sense to me. But it really caught me when Grandpa said they left evidence in the lake.
Yeah, I mean, what?
This is Grandpa talking. This is Grandpa talking.
Can't have evidence without a crime.
And the word evidence suggests a crime. Other words that have been used, Jagman himself said when he was trolling Adventures with Purpose, those nasty, heinous people. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I think they're great, and I feel really bad that they put themselves out there just to get just chopped up the way they're getting right now. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So when a Jagman had nothing better to do on a Thursday afternoon but troll the people that brought the love of his life out of the lake, he used another interesting word. He said, your witness is a liar. To be a witness, you have to witness something, correct?
Oh, correct.
We're going to talk about the article with the Sun. Now, we had a great members live yesterday. It's still up. If you couldn't be there for the members live, it's always a lot of fun. Very laid back, isn't it, Jay?
Indeed. A lot of laughing, a lot of cutting up, a little bit of seriousness taken out of the conversation.
Yep. We get a lot of business done. It's like a board of directors meeting. But we were talking yesterday, and I think it was Avi that brought it up. Maybe not. Avi's going to get credit for it anyway. That possibly somebody in Jagger's camp reached out to the Sun. It seemed like when the, I guess, typo misconception came out from Fox and Crime Online, that I almost said Crime Lines and Lies. Crime Online, which is Nancy Grace's camp, said that he was at the party. Then the Sun comes out this week with an article that threw a lot of shade at Nick, the road assistance guy. Did you catch that?
Yes, of course. On that subject, how about I give you an opposite point of view?
Please. You guys want to play Opposite Day with Jay? Opposite Day with Jay. Let's do it.
What if the only way he was able to be cleared is if he was able to provide receipts or information on somebody who is involved? Does that make sense?
And it's happened in many, many other cases. I couldn't have been there, but I know who was. Let's also look at the wording of the Sun's article. I'm going to put it on the screen after we go through previous comments. That's the first topic of the day. He has location tags, basically, during the party up till noon. Roadside assistance Nick said he was at the Honda with someone that kind of looks like Jagger. We don't know who it was. Could it be we saw the pictures. It could be any of those kids at the party or someone not even at the party. We don't know. And someone else, 11, it was sometime in the afternoon. The Sun is specific, up till noon. He could have been part of, or whoever was with the car. We're not saying it was Jagger, not specifically at the party when whatever happened, but part of the cover-up. We don't know. What do you think about that for Opposite Day?
Well, I think when you lack so much information, you have to really look at both sides of the situation and not rule anything out.
No, and let's expand more on your opposite day. I couldn't have been there because obviously location tags, blah, blah, blah. But I was communicating with somebody that was. How come the son only talked about Jagger specifically? That's why I think it's something from Jagger's camp. It was only asked about Jagger. Sammy has been talked about way more than Jagger. Mags has been talked about a lot. Kate has been talked about a lot. Elsa's been brought up. All the Nates have been talked about. Why are we only saying get the heat off Jagger? And I don't believe for a minute this kid's getting any death threats. I'm sorry. I don't care, keyboard warrior or not. You threaten bodily harm to someone, some law enforcement agency somewhere is going to take that seriously.
Definitely. And, we know that he was contacted the morning of August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing off of what you just said, and I drew a blank. I'm sorry. Where I was going with that?
No, you'll get it back. And I have a lot of issues with the morning of August 6th. I understand. I read your comments. I get your emails. I do. Keep them coming. We agree to disagree here. We can't always all be on the same page. I'm not just trying to beat up on mom over and over. I'm trying to understand the hesitation to get the police involved. Your daughter says, if it was Kylie that sent the text, either way, she got a text. You get a text, I'm going to be late, however it's worded. Okay. Next morning, assuming that she didn't get up any time during the night to get a snack, go to the bathroom, get a glass of water, let the dog out, whatever. She gets up the next morning. Kylie's not there. Lo and behold, Kylie's not answering her phone. Lo and behold, she's not answering her text. Her 360's turned off. Okay, so that did not warrant a call to the authorities. We get to Starbucks. Nobody's heard from her. That's what I am trying to understand, and I can't get anybody to make sense of it to me. Can you help me, Jay?
It doesn't make sense to me either. And, it kind of goes back to the whole Amber Alert situation as well. Why was not everything done possible to get law enforcement, get anybody involved in this quicker than it did?
Yeah. Because the first alert for Kylie came out at, dinner time on that Saturday. The last communication between mom and daughter was at 11:30, maybe 12:15. Either way, I know I've split hairs over that time for a long time, but you know what I mean. The night before, we're going on 15, 16, 17 hours.
Possibly even longer if we're going back from the gap in the timeline.
That's a big gap. Before the show, you and I were talking about how many law enforcement agencies have said to families, Hawkins County is one about Summer. Why did you wait so long to call us? Minutes are critical. Now we have a ton more backtracking to do.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from a one night point of view, there's not a lot of time to do much, and whatever was possibly done would have been done sloppily. But if you raise that scale to 24 hours, which could have very well been applicable, there's all the time in the world to come up with a better plan.
The only thing I can think of is when mom got to Starbucks, the kids said, yeah, she was at the party, just, the way Sammy described. She was just being a teenager. She was great last night. Don't worry, we'll find her. Don't worry, we'll find her. And after a wild goose chase, I think mom realized, I got to call the cops. I really think that the delay in getting the authorities, well, look what we've seen thus far. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to do a whole show about Sammy. She's going to love it. I hope she comes on panel. Well, no, not really. I mean, one of the early stages, if not the first, of the search was, if you happen to come across Kylie, let Sammy know. That was not from law enforcement, my friend.
And I've always wondered, like, surely she would not say that kind of stuff wanting to bypass law enforcement, thinking that law enforcement wouldn't hear her say that. That just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the motive? Where's the logic in that?
I don't understand it. I mean, and not everybody thinks alike. Some people don't trust law enforcement at all, and they believe if you want it screwed up, you get them involved. They don't understand they have way more resources. You can't get on the cloud and find out the last ping. You can't get on, especially with the 360 turned off. You can't get warrants to find out where the last ping would have been. You know what I'm saying? You can't witnesses aren't going to come to you and say, I think I saw her car. It doesn't work that way. And also the delay in contacting the authorities about a minor child being missing is a crime in a lot of states. There's no 24-hour rule, 2-hour rule, or anything. Not saying I want mom in trouble. It's something to think about, and that might be her hesitation. There could have been a conversation. Why did you wait so long to call us?
And I wonder what that reply would have been.
You know what the reply was if you were at the members live. Has to do with the solar system. All right, let's go through some comments from the last show, and then we're going to go through the article from the Sun. What do you think, Jay? Is that a pretty good plan?
Always.
Always. Well, it's the only plan I got, so hang on to your britches. Oh, I just saw Alicia snuck into chat. Hello, Alicia. Also saw Muscles came in. Bella Blonde, what's up, girlfriend? What is everybody doing? How long does it take you guys, out of curiosity before I get to the comments, to get your notifications? I've been getting a lot of stuff from StreamYard and from YouTube asking for my feedback. Well, my feedback is I know what time the show is, but I'm wondering on you guys' end, how long is it taking for you guys to get a notification? So if we start at 9 a.m., so it's 9:19 a.m. my time right now, how long does it take you guys to get notified we're live? Alicia said, I haven't been getting many notifications.
Well, I get the 30-minute, live in 30-minute notification.
That's from me.
Right, and then YouTube will tell me it's live usually about 30 to 60 seconds after you start.
Oh, well, it's working for Jay. And Jay doesn't have to worry about it because I'm up his ass an hour before the show. Okay. Makeup and Mayhem said I got mine about 5 minutes in, 10 minutes. All right, I'll look at that in a little bit. All right, so Fotina says, why is Jagger so sure Kylie died? Because she was drunk driving on a sloped beach? If he wasn't there, where is he getting that? Why isn't he demanding answers? Why isn't he concerned about possible foul play? We can only speculate about this, but it stinks to high heaven. I don't believe for a moment that he's on the inside. I don't believe that law enforcement is giving anybody, even the family. I know they say that they're in communication with them. I don't think that they're saying this is where we're leaning. I just don't. So why is he so sure? Not just so sure, but to a point to where he is I'm trying to think of the right adjective. He is condescending and snarky to people, going, he said to one person, it could happen to anyone. She was drunk off her ass and drove off a steep shore. What is your take on that, chat? What do you think, Jay? Because it is definitely something that we've brought up over and over and can't make sense of it. Why is he so sure he wasn't there?
Well, I think we've asked that question 100 times, and obviously there's no sugar in his coating, and in fact, it's the opposite, very abrasive and very lack of respect to the dead and someone that he supposedly loved with all of his heart, as well as possibly rubbing the family the wrong way with a comment like that as well. Either he's just an immature teenager and can't control what he says or doesn't think about what he says before he says it, or he's putting a narrative out there.
Mm-hmm. And what a tacky narrative. She was drunk driving at 16. Yet he is the one, and I'm not victim blaming. That's what he's saying. I mean, if she had an accident, she had an accident. I'm not going to be the one that says she shouldn't have done this, this, or that. We're not going to add insult to injury here. But how insane is that? But he also says, if anyone says anything bad about you, they have to deal with me. That's what he says. But he's the one trying to sell that she's this irresponsible, out of control teen. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Well, if you go back to what I said in the beginning, that possibly he's provided he is or has or may be in the process on a regular basis of providing information to law enforcement on someone else, that could be playing into that.
I agree 100%. And we were talking about the Skylar Neese case. The only case comparison I'm doing here, guys, is basically the two girls that were involved. One eventually cracked. She cracked mainly because of the way they were treated at school by their peers and the way social media, Twitter in particular, treated Sheila, and I think Rachel's her name. Is her name Rachel?
I'm not positive. That sounds right.
So girl 1 and girl 2. Okay. Sheila, I know for sure. Phew, Sheila's a mess and a half. She cracked. Is the pressure getting to Jagger? Even though he wasn't there, he says he's getting death threats. I'm waiting to see an arrest because that is serious. Whether it's social media, prank call, or to your face, a threat of bodily harm is taken seriously. And the Sun reported that's going on. And there's people that are run with it. Here's this comment right here. Blaze a day ago said, people need to leave that kid alone. Well, narrow it down. What kid? I'm assuming you're talking about Jagger because the Sun article just came out when I got this comment. I'm not bothering Jagger. I am discussing what he's putting out in the universe. Can we agree on that?
Oh, well, I agree with him.
There you go. Tennessee Moonshine said there's so much back and forth about the roadside assistance guy. If the car hadn't been identified as Kylie's, there would not have been any reason to include in the interview. So let's think about this. This does make perfect sense. If law enforcement tells Nick, the diver, and Doug, Jared, the powers that be at Adventures with Purpose, I already looked into it, guys. It's a Honda. It's a gray Honda. It's a 2018. That's not what we're looking for. I just don't think they would have run with this. Do you?
Not at all. Not just for the sake of saving face, but I said it on the last live. They have a very clear direction where they went with that video, and I believe there's so much more to it than just to have somebody question what's already been said, you know?
Yeah, because when you think about it, without some sort of verification, and I don't mean someone who's your fan saying, I happen to know this information, that would have been, you would have been like, do what? That's a lot. That's a lot. We don't run with rumors. We hear them all the time. I just do not believe they wouldn't have checked this out before putting out their video. I just don't believe they would. This isn't their first case. They've always been very careful.
Yeah, and it's not just the experience with finding cars underwater. It's not the experience of searching for missing peoples and discussing with each town they go to with the people of the community. But they work very, very closely with law enforcement, almost hand in hand. And law enforcement probably gives them just about all the information they have on these cold cases. I don't see why there wouldn't have been more information provided to them than what we know.
Mm-hmm. And in a nutshell, they can't continue, whether it's helping families or law enforcement trusting them, if their credibility is shot. They can't do it. Not in this world. I understand on the internet, we see something 1 minute and 10 minutes later, we have forgotten it. Something like that would not have been forgotten, especially with law enforcement and families. They'd be like, no thanks. We don't need that around here. There's other people with boats. We're good. We're good here. I just do not think that they would risk their reputation and their credibility over a rumor. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I'm fully in the mindset of trusting facts over speculation. And I'll say it again, you have to speculate when you have so few facts. But for anyone to just discount the Nick, the service man, out of not finding it believable, you're turning, you're pulling the wool over your own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's plenty of reason to believe it. And if you look into the reports that are available online of every tip that's come in, there is a redacted tip that fits the timeline of that incident. So that would imply that it's still being investigated or still involved in the investigation and cannot be put out to the public yet.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I can't think of what universe you would live in to think that they would just shoot everything out the window that they've worked for one video, is really what it boils down to. They'd already found Kylie. That work was done. Fast. They're faster than DoorDash. They didn't need that. They'd already accomplished what they were there to do. They didn't need to add any extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're not going to eat all your French fries either.
Nope. Well, they're eating someone's French fries because other dive teams are saying we would never do that. Hell, you wouldn't. The hell you wouldn't. We have never even heard your name before. Green-eyed monster is what I see about that. All right. Mindy says, I have always thought, this isn't something recent that popped in Mindy's brain. I've always thought the teen-to-teen meetings were to get their stories straight. I couldn't agree more. I also think the teen-to-teen meetings were who knows what, who saw what. Because I don't care if you're 13, 23, 33, 43, I don't care. 16, 17, 18. If you're worried about your friend being missing, you're going to say, call the police immediately. Not teen-to-teen meeting. No. What do you think about the teen-to-teen meetings, Jay Woody? It's not the first time we've talked about it and won't be the last. I understand there's a lot of going on right now with people saying, quit talking about it. I was told to quit talking about Summer Wells. I was told to quit talking about Harmony Montgomery. I was told to quit talking about Sophie Long. I was told to quit talking about Gabby Petito. I'm running out of names. Not till the fat lady sings around here. So what do you think about the teen-to-teen meetings? What was the whole purpose? Just your opinion?
Well, I was a teenager once and was certainly intimidated by law enforcement myself. And I did things that I shouldn't have been doing. But on the flip side of that, I think that if I knew something that pertained to foul play or an accident, something imperative to resolving a situation like this, that I would probably bypass the teen-to-teen meeting and go to law enforcement to provide that information.
Mm-hmm.
Even with being a teenager. Now, maybe that's just me. I respected my elders from the time that I was very young. That's the way I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
I know that kids are a little different these days, but I still think that morale is something that we're all instilled with. To me, it almost seems like the teen-to-teen meetings is more of a cover to say, look, we're putting in the work. We can't be suspects. We wouldn't be asking these questions if we were involved, you know?
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I respected my authority when I was growing up. That shit would have scared me to death. I'd been like, what? The police want to know what? I mean, I would have been scared if something had happened at a party I was at. Of course, it wouldn't have been, the Woodstock 2022 Sammy's describing, because, I'm just not that cool. But, oh, yeah. I'd have been like, hell no. If this is what the police said to do, that's what I'm going to do. My parents wouldn't have allowed it anyway. My parents wouldn't even thought about it. They wouldn't have been like, hey, if you know anything, don't forget to go tell your friend Ginger. Don't tell the police. Ginger will get it to him. No. Hey, Verna, you weren't connected backstage. Try it again. It looked like it just said device not connected. Then I saw your picture. Then it said not connected again. What was I going to say? Crud, I lost my train of thought.
I know you threw me off talking about Verna as well.
Verna, you messed up my train of thought. Oh, JPL. When I was on the phone with JPL, and she had just gotten to Truckee and they were congregating for the press conference, and she talked to a deputy, and she was talking about the teen-to-teen meetings and something like that. And this deputy goes, she said Sammy. And he said, now this is before Jagger had come out and said, I'm filtering through tips. Okay. The kids didn't pay attention to what law enforcement was saying. And at this point, I was furious that this was even put out in the universe. So she says to him, well, what was going on? Teen-to-teen meetings. And she's taken, she's looking at evidence and stuff. And he goes, what is she doing? The tone said it all. They were not cool with that. What's up, Verna?
Hi, guys. Sorry, I had bad Wi-Fi.
That's okay.
Hi,
So,
Verna.
hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
So, I posted a video about the Boca campground, and it's really, really been bugging me about how public that is there. And I'm just like searching for people to give me some kind of theory about why they would have been there.
Jay was
So
looking
I'm
at that.
curious.
Jay was looking into that. What do you think about the whole Boca connection, Jay?
So, Verna, are you referring to the Nick, the serviceman
Yeah.
incident?
hmm
And could you elaborate more on what you
Well,
were saying?
the area is super public, where AWP said they were pulled over and stopped. It's like the most public campground out there, and it's on the main road, and it has two like inlet outlet roads, like right where they would have been parked. Um, there's a camping spot, within a few 100 feet away. So there's people everywhere right there. So I can't comprehend why they would be in such a public place when the whole area out there is super isolated, and they literally would have had to go across the street and been behind trees and alone.
Well, there was a big party at Boca too. From what I'm understanding, the sanctuary wasn't the only party that night. I thought possibly party hopping, or they were kind of hiding out until the dust settled from all the partying. You know what I mean?
It's a possibility, but there is a campground host at that specific one, that lives there full time during the summer. So they would have a lot of they would have a harder time to party, and there's lots of areas where you could party out there without other people around, you know.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
Verna, the last time you were on, that's kind of why I was asking you about the roads and the area of Boca and all that good stuff, because I don't know it, and Google Maps or Google Earth only provides so much, looking
yeah.
on a computer. But we do know that there was a witness sighting at Boca the same day. Outside of that,
Mhm.
tow man, Nick, serviceman, I never know what to call him, incident. Um, I mean, you're right in thinking it's a very public place. You would think nobody would want to be in that area if you're trying to do something under the radar. But for me, that would imply that, speculating that something was being done under the radar, it would imply why there was a need to get a serviceman out there to get that car running that much quicker.
And if
Yeah.
you're broke down, you're broke down. You can't really pick the area. If you're broke down, I'm still on the fence about what that was all about.
So the SF guy said that the tow truck driver confirmed a picture of Jagger, that it was for sure Jagger who he saw.
Who can
Um,
do that?
the SF guy said that they showed the tow truck driver a picture of Jagger, and the tow truck driver confirmed that was him, but he couldn't confirm the girl.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Jagger and maybe Kate were out there searching for her that day? It was right around the time where he could have been there, and that's who he saw. And maybe it's mistaken on the car, because he does have a silver car.
Well, but there's audio and video. And
Right.
if it was Jagger, it really would make sense, because one of the Adventures with Purpose guys was on another channel and basically said, what you're assuming you're pretty spot on with. Now the Sun is saying, let me put that article up. Hold on. This is a good time to do that. Okay, let me find it. Kylie Rodney's on-off boyfriend, that's a new one, has provided an alibi to cops, but is still receiving vicious death threats. Okay, vicious, guys. Where's the knock on the doors? That, guys, sorry, Jagger. The 16-year-old disappeared after an end-of-school party in Truckee, California, and was found almost 2 weeks later in her submerged car in Prosser Reservoir. Okay, there's Jagman. There's poor Kylie. Web sleuths have been circulating rumors of foul play for weeks since her death and have been speculating her boyfriend Jagger could have been involved. Now, everybody left Jagger alone until the Adventures with Purpose video came along.
Correct.
We even surmised it as, what a dumb thing to say about the filtering tips. He's a confused kid. He's still holding a flame for her. I'm not blaming Adventures with Purpose. The description, everybody all at once said, that sounds like Jagger.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can't help what was described to us. We also have said, at least on this channel, I don't speak for anyone else, we have said, well, hell, looking at the other kids at the party, it could have been any of them. Lots of kids have that hat. All right, Nevada County told the U.S. Sun on Tuesday, early in the investigation, our detectives, now I want to know what early on means. Does early on mean August 6th, 7th, 8th, or after the Adventures with Purpose video? That's what I want to know. Early on, I want to know what that means. They're not going to tell me. Early on in the investigation, our detectives made contact with Jagger. Now, why would Nevada County have made contact with Jagger when it was believed the jurisdiction was Placer? Nevada took the ball and the lead when she was found in Prosser Reservoir. Am I saying that right, Jay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they said they're detectives. Let me read it again. Early in the investigation, our detectives. So that means Nevada County spoke to him. Nevada County, yes, was involved, but they were not the lead in this before she was found by Adventures with Purpose. Placer was. So I'm trying, something might have gotten lost in translation with that. It is the Sun. Anyway, they're detectives, Nevada County, who, by the way, took over the lead after she was found August 21st. Okay, after a detailed interview, he was ruled out as a person of interest. Interesting word to use if you're leaning towards an accident. Jagger didn't make her have an accident. It's not like he stuck his foot out and tripped her. That's not what we're talking about here. The accusations began after the volunteer dive group, Adventures with Purpose, who found Kylie's car using sonar technology, spoke to an unnamed witness. Okay. So when did they talk to Jagger? The way this article reads, well, you be the judge. The man claimed in a YouTube video to have helped Kylie with her vehicle, and now he did not name Kylie. He did not say that was Kylie. I understand we only saw 10% of it. To have helped Kylie with her vehicle and described her being with a teen who fitted Jagger's description after he appeared on the local news. Okay, well, you answered your own question there, son. He alleged he couldn't remember what day he helped the couple, but claimed it may have been the morning after she was last seen alive at the party near Truckee Family Campground. So it's like I said, I really think this came from Jagger's camp, because Jagger is the one that went to the comments section of Adventures with Purpose video and said, your witness is a liar. Okay, this article, to me, is throwing a lot of shade and doubt Nick's way. Do you guys agree with me, or am I reading too much into that?
Yeah, I agree. But I believe AWP and Nick 100%. I think it's a case of mistaken identity. But after looking at the fact that Jagger's got a silver car, could it be that Jagger was there and it was the next day or the following day with a girl that looked enough like Kylie that the tow truck driver thought it was her. Could it be that they were just out searching and their battery died? Because he did go to Reno near O'Reilly's where batteries are sold during that Fox 40 interview. So could it be something as simple as they were out searching for her and they had, because he said he came straight back and started looking. Could it be something as simple as they were out searching for her and their battery died?
How does your battery die when the car's running? And he was
Well,
at an O'Reilly's in Reno.
That was
Yeah.
a few days later.
Yeah, and that was days later. Nick is talking about a Honda CRV, someone matching Jagger's description, and another person
Right.
pretty much the day after. His girlfriend said it was the day after. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of that. But the fact of the matter was that he said the battery was not dead and, in fact, in neutral. So, of course, you know, this could be a situation of mistaken identity. My only rebuttal to that is why would no one clear the air on it?
I don't know. Do we know, like, maybe Kate has a silver car similar to Kylie's? I mean, if she does, that would kind of explain all of this. Or a friend has a car similar to Kylie's they were driving.
So you're thinking that it could not even be a Honda CRV at all, and that Nick is just confused all the way around, because you can still support Adventures with Purpose, and
Right.
Nick's mistaken all the way around.
Not all the way, just maybe with the car. And those were the people that he helped because they did rush there to look for her, and Boca Campground would have been one of the places they went to look. I'm just saying, if he pulled over to help them and in the car, he's mistaken on the car because he doesn't have any videos to look back on. You know, I'm just saying it could have been them, and it could have been them at the campground the next day, and he would have still had an alibi because he wasn't there. But they're not looking at maybe he was just there to search.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because the article basically says they have him cleared to a certain time. I got to find that part of the article, because it says the U.S. Sun can now confirm Jagger, 18, has voluntarily spoken with L.E. and provided proof of his movements during the time Kylie disappeared. Now, I have a question there. What is the time she disappeared? I've got a lot of problems with this article, and no, I'm not trying to make Jagger look guilty. I'm just going through the article. I don't want Jagger to be guilty. I want no one to be guilty, to be quite honest. I mean, I don't want worse on Kylie. Let me put it that way. I'm not being naive. It's just we don't want to make it worse than it already is. Well, during the time she disappeared, how do we know when she disappeared? Are we talking 12:33 a.m.? when her phone went off grid? Is that what they're looking at? So where were you at 12:33 a.m., Jagger? Then it says a source exclusively said Jagger was in Napa Valley until 8 a.m. on the Saturday. Why were we told Reno that he was at Hot August Nights in Reno the night before? Did he drive from Reno to Napa? Get up at 8 a.m.? Hey, anything's possible. Get up at 8 a.m.? I don't know. He was in Napa Valley until 8 a.m. on the Saturday. He didn't get back to Truckee. Well, what back to Truckee? Had he been to Truckee or not? He didn't get back to Truckee until noon and then joined the search to look for Kylie. Okay, the official announcement came out at 5:47 p.m. that night. I didn't realize there was a search at noon. 11 noon, around that time is when Nick came across what was believed to be Kylie's car and the couple. So they had him until that time when Nick came across them. Am I reading this correctly?
Yeah, you are. I'm just saying it might not have been Kylie's car. I mean, that might have been the mistaken part because he put himself there at that time. So it very well could have been him.
No, I'm not arguing. What you think is what you think. We agree to disagree.
Right.
I'm just going through the article. No, 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 nothing like that. Let's see what Paige has to say. Hello, Paige. What's up?
Hey there. How are you girls today and guys?
Good.
That makes no sense. If it was anybody other than somebody that's suspect, why would they have not come forward? If it was Jagger and let's say Kate in someone else's car and this all came forward, they would have come forward by now and said it was not Kylie that the truck driver pulled over, it was us.
Would they have? I mean, Jagger did say Kylie did not call a tow truck driver. He
But
didn't
Jagger-
necessarily say there wasn't one called.
But
I think
if
what
it was
she,
him-
I think what she's saying is, with all the hoopla, rumors, and things like that, if it was not Jagger, obviously it couldn't be Kylie. Say it's just some random couple that broke down.
Exactly.
With social media, look at the Gabby Petito case. That couple that came across the van of Brian Laundrie's, of
If
Brian
all
and
was
Gabby's.
going on and me and my
Somebody-
boyfriend,
Somebody, if it was some other couple, if that's what you're saying, some other couple,
Mhm.
nothing to do with the party, nothing to do with Kylie Rodney, and they were like, whoa, 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 I drive a Honda CRV. I'm the one that called. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could kind of fit that description, but he's mistaken. Somebody would have come out by now and said, no, that was me.
absolutely.
Not everybody's on social media. Dad had no idea about the AWP video. There are lots of people that aren't on social media, and if they're at a campground, they possibly could be from out of town, so they're not watching our news. I mean, not everybody's on social media. They might not have realized.
Don't believe that for 1 second. I just and how would Jagger know if she called, first of all? And I keep getting stuck on the comment that he came back. He came back to Truckee. Like, well, when was he there? An hour and a half before he headed home? Turned around and came right back. I mean,
The article is definitely worded weird, but I do believe that somebody would have said, whoa, 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 that was me. Especially if you are, I mean, I guess if you're just passing through, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are the odds that it wouldn't come across in this amount of time that something happened the day after? You know, it's been on the Today Show. It's been on CBS.
Not the AWP.
Good Morning America.
And listen,
Not
we
the
know
tow truck driver.
that this law department, this law enforcement department, is not going to share anything with us.
No.
But
Right.
because they
Oh,
think
no.
everything is leaking to interfering with their investigation, which is BS. Because every case around the world, they show information all through the case. We have gotten nothing except one picture of Kylie, kind of looking like Kylie, at 6 p.m. at some truck stop that we don't even know if that was on that date. We don't know anything about it other than that.
I don't know what you're following, but every case that we have currently active going through this channel right now is very limited information they release. It's just a need to know snippets. They are not informing us every day on anything. It's got to be something major.
Stuff on
And they know.
Eliza, like we were seeing everything for the 2 or 3 days that it was going on. We saw the video. It blurred a little bit, but we saw they were telling us that they did research, that they found someone, that they arrested someone. I mean, they were keeping us all the way to the point where they had him. It wasn't like secrecies about it.
Because they had the guy though. They had the guy dead to nuts. They had pulled him out of the CODIS system. They had his DNA at the scene.
Right. So do you think that if
nothing to investigate, they had the dude. They just had to find him.
Right. But do you think that if this video that we're all speculating on for a month now was either not given to the police, A, or B, given to the police and they cleared it and said it's no one to do with this case, whatever the case may be, you don't think they would have come out with something telling us the video?
They're not very forthcoming. They haven't been really open and honest about anything except for a kid getting death threats.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. They didn't come out and mention anything about the false sighting in Arizona. They didn't come out and mention anything about the police scanner that I played a couple of shows back about seeing a missing person that matched Kylie in Reno. Not forthcoming at all.
And you can bet if AWP did not come out with this, we would not have heard shit about this tow truck.
100%.
Nothing.
Or would we have thought it was foul play? I mean, at least in my mind, I always thought it was an accident.
I
Driving the
think
vehicle.
that there would be a larger majority right now that would not suspect foul play if it wasn't for the AWP video.
And see, that didn't change my mind at all. I thought foul play from.
Oh, it didn't change my mind either, but you got to look at the masses.
I agree. I agree. Now, what about the girl who, remember the woman who found the black tank slash
Yes.
dump, right? Okay. Have you heard her talking? She said
No.
that not only would they not come to pick that up, this is like 2 days after Kylie's missing, after they're saying all over the news that she was last seen in a black, onesie jumper. She said not only would they not come get it when they were right down the street, but she was talking to other people that were searching, and they had found evidence, they had found things, clues, and none of the police would ever come pick up any of it. She said she was talking to people after people, and they said the police would come pick up the evidence. They had no interest in it.
What
Yes,
size?
And that's
and-
kind of
What size is it? What
Did it-
size? What size is that tank top? From my understanding was, and I just want the truth out here. That's all I want. I don't care. This is not. I don't care who talked to who or who likes law enforcement, who hates them. I don't care about any of that. I just want the facts.
Right.
Now, obviously, it's just a rumor that this tank top would have been way too big for Kylie. And that also they already had her on CCTV with spaghetti strap tank tops. And this has like full straps.
Well, you can see that they're not full straps. I just can't tell whether they're as thin as hers were. You know what I mean?
I
have
think it's more
One
simple.
at a time, one at a time. It's
Sorry.
very loud for people on the other end.
I think it was more simple because going through that at the lake when we were finding all that stuff and they refused to come and the frustration was horrible. Going through that, they just don't seem to care. It seems like they don't consider it evidence. Like they had their mind made up from the get-go
That's right.
that it was probably an accident.
Well, let me say this about the tank top and that incident. The lady who found it did say that she had to be at work in 30 minutes and she couldn't wait on law enforcement. So I don't think it was necessarily a case of law enforcement just not going to investigate it. I believe it just wasn't in the time frame that she was able to stay there. Second, I don't believe she ever touched it. And we don't know that it was a tank top and not a bodysuit. Thirdly, we do know that law enforcement did block that area, that whole entire area off to the searchers once everybody got out there to look. There's something more to that story. Definitely.
Oh yeah, big time. That's why I was wondering, because it's just got to make sense. That's why so many true crime channels only talk about cases that have been solved and someone's in jail. Because once it's all laid out, people don't look at stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, I remembered that. That was a crazy case. But if you're talking about an ongoing case, it's the why that drives us crazy that we can't answer. Because we have it, nothing makes sense to us.
Nothing makes sense. And the people that
so much, purposely left out.
Oh my gosh. I feel like from day one, the day she went missing, they had made up their mind that this was going to be an accident, and there was nothing. They didn't block off any area at that place. I mean, they had everyone trampling through. Even in my opinion, the main suspects were able to just walk around, go down back to the water and cover any tracks up that they needed to, or pick up any. They just have never. What about the day that they were supposedly out there searching in the water for her car, and supposedly there was a boat of people that were boating right over the area? So they said that they didn't search that area because there was boaters
They were
there.
fishing. They were fishing right there twice, actually.
Leave the area. We are at we're checking this. It just makes it. They had made up their mind. It's clear as the way they pulled the car out, let everything fall out. They just did everything, in my opinion, to muck this up as much as possible from the get-go. And no, we don't want it to be a murder for Kylie's sake. People that say that we want it to be a murder is so ridiculous. that's heartbreaking to think that this girl was betrayed by her people that she trusted and taken from this world like that. That's devastating. But we want the truth. We want the truth. And turning and looking the other way and just going away like it was an accident is not right. It's not right.
Well, what do you think about all the people between Mom and, of course, we haven't heard from Sammy or Mags or Kate, but between Mom, I'm not picking on Mom. I'm having a discussion between Mom and, I mean, there's other people that have covered this extensively that are saying now don't cover it anymore. Even the private investigator who has alluded to foul play and confirmed a lot of our suspicions, talking about SF Investigates a week or so ago, said this just turns out to be a tragic accident. How do you know, dude? Nevada County said the weekend of the memorial, they said they're still investigating this. They said they're still investigating it. You don't have a person of interest. You don't question anybody if it's just an accident. You wouldn't talk to anyone.
No.
You wouldn't waste the paper. You wouldn't waste your time. If you're just going to chalk it up to an accident, who the hell wants to sit there and talk to Jagger about what he was doing Friday night? If you're just going to come out and say, looks like she just turned off and drove in the water.
You're right, but do you really think they're wasting any of their precious time? I don't think
I agree with that.
I don't
All
think
right, guys, I gotta hop down. It was nice being on here.
Thanks, Verna.
Bye,
Anytime.
Verna.
Bye.
You're welcome. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
I don't think that they've wasted. I don't think that they've. Even the drone footage, which was what was the drone footage that SF did? How was that? That was before the car was found. It was still in the middle of the search. There was no one searching. There was no one in the woods. There was no one at the park. There was no one at the party scene. There was no one at the water. No one.
Now, not according to JPL, because she was there. She said there was people everywhere.
And then that goes to the other side of it. Again, it's like
she saw it with her own eyes. She said she was talking about the Homeland Security van being there. She was talking about multiple vehicles with markings she had never seen before.
Wow. Well, that's good. But that flips me to the other side of, again, I'm not talking about legal, like law enforcement people could be out there, but they let everybody it sounded like from our side that everybody was a free for all. Whoever wants to come look can look.
Well, Sammy tried to do that and a few others. And that I really believe that the problems we're having as of today is because of those distractions. And those distractions are what have been keeping people busy because we're not looking at what was really going on. I mean, JPL was there.
Do you think that when they were having their teen-to-teen private meetings in the van or in that house, wherever they were at, do you think that FBI, the police, do you think they were recording them? I pray to God they were.
I don't think they even knew it was going on. It wasn't set up by law enforcement. Because I don't know if you heard all my other shows or earlier when I was talking about it, when JPL was talking to the deputy and brought up all of this stuff of Sammy's, he said, "What is she doing?" He was taken aback.
She was sitting right in front of the whole panel of them telling them to come to her, that she'd go to jail and not tell any names. I mean, most of the meetings she had, there were police standing around her, if not paneled up behind her sitting. And their excuse was, in writing, their excuse was she brought her own mic and it was a public forum, so we couldn't stop her. That makes no sense. You absolutely could have stopped her from directing tips to come to her.
Drives me insane that those kids were not held accountable for what I consider to be obstruction.
My gosh.
I think that Jagger and Sammy both, I'm not saying lock them up and throw away the key, but I would have put the fear of God in them. I would have been like, oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely. And any other legit law enforcement would have. When have you ever seen that? When have you ever seen that? We've seen murders or suspects get real close to the family and, spend the night and be in their bedroom and huddle up with the mom and cry and be in the searches and all that. We've seen that. But when have you ever seen them do what they've allowed them to do?
The Skylar Neese case.
Yeah.
Sheila wanted all the info. It's actually, I don't know how many cases you followed, if you follow them all
Yeah.
or just
That-
what grabs you. Weird stuff happens, dude. Weird stuff. It's going on right now in North Carolina. We're going to be talking about it this afternoon. We got another one in Georgia.
the two
Craziness.
teens.
The one in North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah. I just started getting into that one.
Well, you're going to come back and get into it with us.
Yeah. There's something about Kylie. All I watch 24/7 is crime scene, ongoing and past. Just that's all I'm into. But there was something from the very first day that just ripped me into this. And like I said, I follow a lot of them very close, but I have literally been like obsessed with this one. Not obsessed in a crazy bad way. Obsessed like this just does not make sense. Like you said, just make it make sense. There's nothing about this case that makes sense.
Well, the article from the Sun did not help the not making sense because I'm reading it out loud. So when you guys hear something that doesn't make sense or that we have a question about, I'm watching chat on my phone and I'm looking at the article on the computer. So tell me, because there's a lot of stuff jumping out. And no, I'm not trying to say that Jagger is guilty of something. I'm just going through some things that I find odd about this terribly written article.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if Jagger is completely involved in murder or either, but I don't think he's innocent by any means, and I definitely don't care what the Sun said or even what law enforcement said. He's not cleared in my mind at all. This didn't change anything about the way I felt about any of them. And isn't Kate in Europe still?
Oh hell, I don't know about her vacation plans. What I'm confused about is how the law works. Okay, so if you in the article before I start talking about something else, when the article says Nevada County early on spoke with Jagger, they were involved, but they weren't the lead investigative agency. Placer was. They did not become the lead until August 21st. That can't be early on.
Yeah, my first thought when they said early on, my first thought was how early? Like day one when she was missing? Did you clear him before you even knew she was dead? When did you clear them early on? That was my first thought because I trust them so little that it's like they could have cleared him from day two for all we know.
Okay, so it says Jagger has time and location stamps the night of the party and into the next day. The police are not interested in him. He is not part of the investigation. Okay, well, I'm happy to know that there is an investigation. All right, that part I'm happy with.
Yeah.
It's just so weirdly worded. The insider, who the hell's the insider? The insider added that Jagger doesn't understand the hate and has to limit comments on social media as he continues to face unrelenting abuse from trolls linking him to Kylie's death. I'm wondering if the person that put this article together went and looked at the Long Live Kylie Instagram, because the comments are, we know you're going through a lot. People come in saying, leave this kid alone. I haven't seen any death threats. Has anybody seen any death threats on the Long Live Kylie Instagram? I have missed them. No, I don't check it 24/7. It's a lot for him to deal with as a young teen. He's also grieving. He gets direct messages, comments, and tags, texts, and calls and emails all the time, accusations, death threats. I got a big problem with the death threats and people telling him, to unalive himself. These are all crimes. Why nothing's being done about it? If it's happening, I don't know. Okay, Jagger is internet savvy enough to stay the hell off the internet. Where, again, I'm going to ask this. Where are the parents? Jay, would you let your child walk around with their phone, their laptop, pad, however they do it? Or would you say, look, let me see, all those apps on your phone, they're gone. They're gone now. The only communication you have is through text and call, and it's if you know that person in real life.
100%. And I'm old school that way, but we know kids are raised differently these days. What I would like to see, if you could just scroll up on that article a couple of paragraphs.
Hmm.
I think that I saw something that jumped out at me that kind of says it all.
Okay, which were part? He alleged he.
So that's the top.
No, I'll go to the top. The 16-year-old disappeared after.
Okay, so keep going down.
Okay. Web sleuths have been circulating rumors. Nevada County sheriffs told the U.S. Sun on Tuesday early in the investigation. That's got me.
Go down past the pictures to the next paragraph.
Okay. Now, this is about Nick. Nick alleged he couldn't remember what day he helped the couple, but claimed it may have been the morning after she was last seen alive.
Okay. One more down.
The source exclusively said,
No, past those.
okay, pass all that stuff.
Right
So,
here.
under Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. He was misquoted in an article saying that he was at the party with Kylie. He was never there. He now doesn't want to talk publicly. I think that says everything you need to know there. This is PR.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Funny how they just throw it in the middle of all the other crap.
Yeah, I definitely think someone got to the Sun. They paid them off. Somebody paid off the Sun.
We talked about that in the members live yesterday. Do you think when he got misquoted by two different media outlets that that's what got this going? Because people were reaching out to Nevada County yesterday. For one, about the press conference or press update, they said they hoped to give us, they told News Nation. And they said there is no press conference currently scheduled. This is on the screen. Then the person reached out. This was in Discord, so I don't know which one of you guys did this. Great work, by the way. Can you confirm, the statements about Jagger? And they said, thank you for your messages, blah, blah, blah. Then they said, yes, that statement is factual. So they're saying that they did give that information to the Sun, that he's not a person of interest. Again, why do you have a person of interest on an accident? Never heard of that before, but I'm learning something new every day with this case. All right, so they're confirming that they did talk to the Sun, that he's not a person of interest, he's not a suspect, blah, blah, blah. What about Placer County? Who talked to him? Nevada County was not the lead investigative agency until after she was found. That was after August 21st. They're saying early on. And also the location is up until noon on Saturday. Well, when did she go in the lake? We don't know. It makes the whole article confuses the hell out of me. Is anybody else confused by the article or just me?
You're not the only one, but I think it's by design rather than anything else.
Well, it's certainly not the best journalism, because it even says back to Truckee. Well, when was he in Truckee? I heard he was in Reno. He said he was in Reno.
Exactly.
Then it's 8 a.m. He was in Napa. That's a lot of traveling. What did Thomas say? Someone's saying, great point, Thomas.
He says, hey, Brooks, if law enforcement had done the recovery properly and not left evidence in the lake, then people would have confidence in the proper conclusion to this case. But from the beginning, it's been suspicious.
Yep. Hey, Cooper, I'm with you. This article did nothing to help anything. We weren't saying Jagger did anything. I'm only talking for us. We've said millions of times. It could have been any kid at that party. Hell, they all look alike when you look at the pictures. It's only throwing more fuel on the fire. I mean, Jagger's the one that made the big stunning announcement last week that he's not going to say anything until after the autopsy comes out. Next thing you know, we have an article from the Sun.
Yeah, to me, it seems like it was put out by Team Jagger.
Well, go ahead. What were you saying, Paige?
Oh, I was just saying, I agree. It like means nothing to me as far as it's concerned. It just feels like it's more BS from that side, just to throw more confusion. I don't know, just.
Well, and odds are, because I mean, I haven't heard anyone say they saw Jagger at that party. Odds are he probably wasn't there.
Shoot, they barely said that they've seen Kylie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, odds are he probably wasn't there. So it goes back to the question I've been asking for a month and a half, if not more. Why is he giving firsthand information and wanting to be the contact person and the one in the know?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, he put this out the other day. I'm so sorry all these people are making such a mockery over this. I'm trying to tell them it's over, but they won't listen. I'm trying, Kylie. I just don't know what else to do. Well, what is he trying to tell us? I understand. I know how to read. I'm reading this. What are you trying to tell us, Jagger? By the way, under that, there's no death threats. There's nothing.
No, I haven't seen any death threats.
Has anybody seen anything threatening on Jagger's Instagram or the Long Live Kylie? Anybody? Because we got a lot of eyes in here. We got 750 pairs of eyes that have been looking at this stuff. Has anybody seen anything that can be construed as a threat to Jagger on any of the social media he's been posting on? Anybody? Angela said, yes, I have on his IG. What did it say? I mean, just if you could paraphrase it. Nope. I don't mean aggressive. I mean any direct threats, because he's saying he's getting death threats.
You know, any threats, in my opinion, that he might be getting, like aggressive or death, are probably witnesses that actually anonymously know the truth and are coming at him. Like the few, I don't know anything about the backing of who wrote like the tiki or whatever, the things like where they list specific details that they know things. But, you know, there are going to be people at some point coming out of the woodwork that do know something that are probably going to go at him about it. And in my opinion, those are probably the threats, if he's getting any at all, that they're going to be coming from people that know the truth. And that's my opinion on it. That's just my feelings on it. I don't know that. I'm not saying that the average Joe would not give him a death threat or a bad. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying there are people out there that do that type of thing. But like you said, if it's so bad, then just go off social media for a month. Or block it, lock it down, put it on private all the way around, and just have your close friends that you trust,
Well, he shouldn't be getting threatened at all, even if he is the aggressor. And a crime is a crime is a crime. So if somebody is honestly, now if they're saying, I hope you get beat in jail, they're not saying they're going to beat him.
Right. I agree.
If they're saying, you know what you did, they shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be taunting him. But I'm talking about an actual threat. He is telling the Sun that he's getting death threats. That's big. I'm sorry, that is. Brady said he loves the attention. All right, so yesterday, the Reno Gazette came out. That's not what I was looking for. Where'd it go? I just had it up. Here it is. All right. It says basically Nevada County is not going to address any rumors. Okay, good. Then don't complain that people are still asking and still talking about it. We have your answer. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office is not providing any further information, including to dispel possible rumors. That's actually a standard tactic all across the board with law enforcement. They really don't care what we think. I know some people don't get that and they don't like that. They don't give a shit. They don't. Kylie, 16, was found dead in her car in Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st. She went missing August 6th from a large party at a campsite. Okay, Nevada County Sheriff Shannon Moon has turned down requests for an interview now, a month since Kylie's body was found. It has been a month. Yeah. With this still being an open case, we do not want to jeopardize the integrity of the case, the public information officer Andrew Trigg says. Trigg said the sheriff's office has been in close contact with Kylie's family and would share the final autopsy and toxicology when they become available. In response to a public records request, Moon said information on the case will be reviewed and redacted and expected to be available November 1st. That's what we've been told. In one case, this is what Jay was talking about. In one case that went viral on social media, a recording of a fake 911 scanner report said Kylie's car and a person matching the teen was at Arrow Creek, a gated housing development in South Reno. Did you see that, Jay? That's what they're talking about. We talked about that.
Right.
The rumors and speculation as to what happened to Kylie have become fodder for social media, with unsubstantiated accusations pointed at almost everyone, including friends and family. Her body was found in the back of her car, 55 feet from shore, in about 14 foot of water. Well, they confirmed that now, didn't they?
And this is the person who wrote the article speaking, right? They're not quoting Sheriff Moon still, right?
I don't know. You tell me. How are you reading it? I don't know. I mean, if they're quoting the sheriff and the public information officer with Nevada County, I mean, are they? And they're saying they're not going to confirm any rumors. That's the whole preface of the article. We're not confirming any rumors.
Well, they did not deny the rumors either, is my point.
I mean, they're saying right here, she was found in the back of her car. We already knew it was 55 feet from the shore because we watched them pull her out of the water in about 14 foot of water. So obviously Adventures with Purpose didn't lie to us about that. That sounds, they didn't say yay or nay. I mean, this is in the article. They talked to the public information officer. They said they're not going to confirm any rumors, but yet this is in the article.
Yeah, there seems to be some soapbox action with them and other journalists like that. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see how you can run something saying that the sheriff won't confirm any rumors. They're protecting the integrity of the case, which they should. Okay? They should. But then they said she was found in the back of the car. Well, I mean, yes, Adventures with Purpose did say it, but it sounds to me like it's being confirmed here, because they're not saying anything about Adventures with Purpose in the video. I don't know. Just struck me as odd. It says the speculation only intensified after Adventures with Purpose. The private dive team that found Kylie released a 40-minute documentary-style video on their search and discovery. They called her death suspicious. The episode included an interview with, of course, here we go about Nick again, who said he helped someone matching Kylie's description after she was reported missing. Law enforcement would not say whether the tow truck driver's claims were investigated. Okay, well, they had him on the horn. If you're protecting the integrity of the case, it's very easy to say, we aren't commenting on that, or that has been looked into and there's nothing there. That would stop that part of it. They already said Jagger wasn't there. Why can't they say Nick is mistaken? We got two articles here that came out in just the last couple of days. Jagger is as innocent as the new fallen snow, but they won't say anything about the tow truck driver's claims. You guys want to weigh in on that?
Audrey? Did we lose her? Can you hear me?
Paige, you there?
Yeah, I'm
Paige,
sorry. I
I
was
said
putting my
Audrey. I'm
earbuds
sorry.
in.
Yeah, I just changed mine as well. I'm like, can you hear me?
I was trying to put my other speaker in so I could hear better. I agree 100%. They haven't cleared any. They don't have to give us, minute by minute details. But like you said, just say that's been looked at. There's no details to give at this time, but that's put to rest, or however they want to word it. As far as they know, the whole world is thinking that there is a video out there that's showing who had Kelly's car. How hideous of them, in my opinion, to leave us just filling in the blanks. I don't expect them to come out and say who they, pinpointed it to be. I don't want them to. If there was truly an investigation going on, I don't want them to interrupt that or chance messing that up by any way by giving us too many hints or tips. But something just to say, yes, we did receive the video, or that has, we're acknowledging that. They have not said anything about the video.
Oh yeah, and that goes without saying. What I'm saying is we have an article where they verified with the Sun. They admitted that they gave that statement.
Yes.
That Jagger is not a person of interest. They know where Jagger's ass was when all of this was going down. That's what it basically said in a nutshell. Don't worry about Jagger. Move on. All right, then we have the Reno Gazette that speaks with the POI at Nevada County, who said, we're protecting the integrity of the case. But then you have a paragraph saying she was found in the back of the car. Then it talks about the claims made by Nick that they didn't say that's printed in the same article. I just find that odd. If you can say Jagger has nothing to do with it, you're speaking. Then why can't you say that the tow truck driver's claims have been investigated and I don't know, it's a mix-up, however you want to word it.
Agreed.
It seems to me they can't say that. It seems to me they can't say that.
They can't say that. They can't say.
It's more like
they can't say anything.
It's hard because in the beginning they were literally begging for information to be provided in all forms and admitted that they had nothing to go on. People start digging, people start finding all kinds of things that are provided to law enforcement. And now it's like a brick wall.
Exactly.
Well, and the way that the article ends, after they do mention her I got some background noise. Hang on. So the way that the article ends, okay, Adventures with Purpose has said on multiple other interviews on YouTube that they have more from the interview with the tow truck driver that they will air depending on what is released by police. Then it says, the California Highway Patrol is investigating the case as a car crash, and the Nevada County Sheriff's Office is investigating if foul play was a factor in the death and is handling Kylie's autopsy and toxicology report. Well, what does that tell you? Thank you, Denise. Denise says the tow truck driver video and audio might be part of the case. So basically, California Highway Patrol, they're investigating the crash.
Well, how the car got in the water, yes.
Yeah. They're not those type of detectives. And it says Nevada County is investigating if foul play was a factor in the death and is handling Kylie's autopsy and toxicology report. Brady says confirming foul play. Some of these articles aren't as plain as the nose on your face, if you know what I mean.
It's because they have so little to go on as well.
Well, wouldn't that be simpler to report?
What's that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with so little to go on, that'd be simpler to report.
We're just saying we have so little to go on. Thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah, basically.
They had
Basically, I mean, they could just, I mean, I guess if that's what you're reporting what you've been told. You've been told that they're not going to confirm any rumors. Okay, well, then that would be your article. But then somehow they have all this other in here. She was found in the back of the car, and Nevada County is investigating if there was foul play involved. Exactly, Leopard Joy, because that's what the Highway Patrol does. They're not saying that. They're just saying it's a car wreck. That's each agency does their own job. Let me take that down real quick. I mean, I guess in perspective, it makes sense.
But yet, internet sleuths and social media contributors are the ones who get scolded for talking about the case.
Yep. And their own local journalists can't even tell a straight story. Just Me said that is so crazy. I agree, keep smiling. Articles should be taken with a grain of salt. I feel like I'm reading stuff in circles. Just like that stupid Sun article. They're saying going back to Truckee. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When was he in Truckee? You say you've got him cleared when the disappearance happened. We don't know when the disappearance happened. Up until noon on Saturday. Well, we don't know when the car went in the water. We don't know if Nick saw Kylie or if he saw Kate or saw Sammy or somebody else we have never even heard of. We don't know. Hang on. Have you heard about this, Jay? Christina says, can someone please tell me about this apparently altered AWP video? Are you talking about altered? It's edited because they only put out part of the information.
Well, it was edited from the members only video at first because of the conversation of calling the family members. Maybe that's what she's referring to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, when they took out Sally
Right.
and the other lady, yeah. Just Me said, I think his parents are the unnamed source.
Yeah.
So did you guys all watch AWP on the interview room the other night? I only have I've watched it all, but there's one, they did a question and answer I wanted everyone for us to all listen to together. Do you have a second, Jay?
Oh, I have many seconds.
I love it. I love it. All right, hang on.
In studio and production, where we're absorbing.
All right, I started it right there, but what he's talking about right there is they're going to be, from what I'm understanding, on Dr. Phil about this case soon, probably in the next month.
Yeah, you know, keeping our eyes open, our ears open more than our mouths. And we learned a lot there.
So you guys drive into this question if you feel comfortable.
Absolutely, this is possible. You know, so with we have our opinion. Our opinion, if you've watched our episode, is based on a lot that you see in the episode, as well as 90% of the stuff that we cannot talk about and have never been able to talk about nor comment, and that none of the public even knows. So, but does that mean we're right? Absolutely not. We're allowed to voice our opinion, and we're never going to back down from that because that's our voice. At the end of the day, if this is foul play, we could never be loud enough. Never. Now, law enforcement is going to come out here soon. Like you just mentioned, there's rumors they may come out tomorrow or something like that. But whenever they come out, we know we have one of three things that are going to happen, right? They're going to announce that it's an accident. That's going to create a whole storm because nobody's going to believe that. The second thing that's going to happen is they're going to say it's inconclusive, right? Inconclusive at this point, and then it's still ongoing. That's going to create another storm because of how things were handled every step of the way. There's a lot of blaming that's going to go on because of why it's inconclusive. Or three, the third one is that, hey, it is indeed very suspicious death and it's still an ongoing investigation. And that in itself is going to create another storm. But, just because we feel a certain way doesn't mean that that's how it is. The law enforcement, the FBI, CHP, Nevada County Sheriff's Department, Prosser County Sheriff's Department, they're going to come up with a theory or their assessment. They'll present it to the public. And, fortunately, that's what we have to wait on. And right now, all we have is what we've released. When, depending on certain positions that they may take, we'll have a lot more info that will come forward and possibly a whole nother episode.
Yeah, those are well.
Okay. What do you make of that, Jay?
Well, I may not be a weatherman, but it definitely looks like a storm is on the horizon.
That's what I thought too. And no, there's nothing funny about this. They're basically saying, we have a lot more. We have a lot more. And even said, and if they come back, how do you say, inconclusive, or it's just an accident, he said, and nobody's going to buy that.
Right. I think that's very telling. And he says we have information from law enforcement that the public does not know about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I've said from the get-go.
Uh-huh.
Not to toot my own horn. This isn't about me, but you have to read between lines to get the information that's not there.
And they're saying we knew from the beginning, not the beginning, but when they released the video, they were very transparent. And they said, we're only giving, this bit, 10%. And so if they do come out and say it was just an accident, well, I have a feeling they're going to release what they have. And he said it's going to cause a lot of havoc, don't you think?
Yeah, this case isn't going away quietly.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Let's listen to a little bit more of it. Kathy says, I can't read between the lines. That's why I'm here.
Well, not everybody can, nor has the time. And we're happy to have you here, Kathy, because that's what we do.
Here's a question I'm wondering about myself. How come law enforcement hasn't seized the other footage from Adventures with Purpose?
Well, how do you know that they haven't?
They could know exactly what they know. I mean, they can't take their intellectual property. They can say, yeah, I'll give you copies of everything I have. This is what we got. They're not saying anything, so that shows their integrity.
Well, I would assume that when they said that this information has been provided to law enforcement, that would be included.
Yes, that's a very important note to grab. Alicia said, I'm sure they probably did. Okay, Moon River said Adventures with Purpose. They did. They did. Thank you for the reminder. Adventures with Purpose said from the start they gave law enforcement copies of all their footage. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. All right, there's another part. Hang on.
Well said. Absolutely. And make sure you guys pay attention to what's going on at 8.
And for those that don't follow the interview room, Chris McDonough is a retired detective. So he heard all of that, which is basically, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. If they come out and just say this is an accident, we got more to show you. And he doesn't argue with them. He says, well said, well said.
AWP over there at their channel, because that's where you're going to get their, the most data coming from. And let me explain something from an LA side in relationship to why the CHP, why the various agencies, right? I mean, sometimes there's a little confusion, but, so the chippies, they're going to come in because they're master accident investigators. That's what they do. They look at, the schematics on the car. They look at, all kinds of stuff, points of impact, possibilities. Could it have been pushed? Could it have been driven? There's a variety of other things that they have some skill set and expertise in. And then you have the other situation. You have the reporting agency, i.e. the agency in charge. They're going to run a parallel to the AI, to the accident investigation. And what that means is, they're going to kind of stay out of the car situation. And they're going to, work on the peripheral edges. They're going to deal with witnesses, victims, families, all of that stuff. And then you have the ME, the medical examiner. Those individuals, that person obviously is going to, they're not going to really come out yet until the toxicologies come back. If there's evidence, of foul play in relationship from their perspective. Okay? And then all of these agencies and the FBI comes in with support mechanisms, evidence teams, and everybody's got their opinion, but it never sometimes is always what it looks like. Okay, it could be different, but it doesn't mean it is different. So I think what Doug and Nick have been saying from the very beginning is they have their opinions because they have observation. They were there. They saw it. They feel the way they feel. That is not to be, condemned or second guessed by anybody, in my opinion. This is just like, just like if this was a homicide case, very much that, everybody sits in the same room and you throw up ideas, and it doesn't mean any of the ideas are wrong. It just means somebody had an idea. And so, it's good that you guys, and I know this is your model because I've watched you guys, and I know that's how Jared operates because I've met with him one-on-one. And you guys, you throw it at the wall, and if it sticks, then it's probably evidence. And if it doesn't, oh well, let's look over here. And if you really want to see Doug's personality, go watch that video again where he stops. Okay. And I love this about you. You start pulling that beard, man, like, waiting for Santa Claus. You got to turn that beard white, over over Christmas, and it's like you were in deep thought because you knew what time it was. You knew it. And then Nick, you popped up. And man, that was like gripping. It's like, holy cow, they did it. They got it. They got it. What was going through your mind? Can you share that?
Sure. Obviously, when we first kind of between the two of us confirmed that, well, there's a really good chance here that this is a vehicle. But obviously at that point, you can't confirm anything. The only way to truly confirm if it's the vehicle you're looking for is to put your dive gear on and go down and physically, take a look at it. And so while Doug was kind of prepping, he was in the boat kind of prepping the vehicle with the magnet and the buoy. I'm in the trailer putting on my dive gear, and you can bet there was a lot of thoughts going through my head because at the time we didn't have a confirmation if that was Kylie's vehicle or not, but I somehow knew that the probability of it being there was higher than the other way. So I had to kind of mentally prepare myself for what I was about to encounter. And then, of course, when you go down and you saw that just in the video right away, I was at the back of the vehicle and could see the license plate. So, I was only underwater for a few seconds before I knew right away, and so in that split second, all kinds of emotions are going through your head of shock and, we found her, but wow, this isn't what I expected. I wasn't planning for this. Now I got to look at the vehicle and see if she's in there. And so, when I got up out of the water and took my mask off, and you saw that moment there where I'm kind of emotional and taking a few breaths. There's a lot of emotions going through my head. It wasn't just the fact of what I saw, but I couldn't believe that we just found her, and you're breathing compressed air underwater by yourself, and your adrenaline's going, so it's kind of hard to breathe anyway. And so just to finally get a breath of fresh air and take those few first breaths to kind of focus on what you had just seen and what you just confirmed, and now you have to let the family know some very bad news. So yes, it was a very emotional moment for me. It took me a few seconds there, as you could see, to kind of gather my senses.
Okay, that goes without saying that he came across a really heavy scene. But what I pick up from what he's saying, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, is he was already prepared. That they believed they had found a car. They knew what car they were there looking for. But when he got under there, what he said was he saw something different.
That jumped out at me. He said, wow, this was unexpected.
This was
So you know they had to expect a body being in that vehicle.
Mhm.
So there's something about the way the body was, in my opinion. There has to be something about the way the body was seen that gave him that unexpectedness. And let me just add on as well. Nick is a very humble man. I think you have to be humble to be able to disclose your emotions the way that he is there and has every time we've heard him speak. And that just goes on kind of what I was saying the other day. Just because he's not afraid to speak of his emotions doesn't mean that he's weak. So don't take his kindness and good heart as weakness.
No. Mm-mm. No, I don't think he's acting like it was my first day on the job and wasn't expecting this.
Not at all.
He's spelling it out differently. They already knew, had suspicion they had a car there. They knew they were there to find a car, possibly with Kylie Rodney in it. And he says when he got down there, it wasn't what he expected.
Yeah, just more fodder for the mind to wander in 100 different directions.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we're just going to keep wondering and wondering, aren't we, my friend?
Round and round and round, right?
Yep. Well, I'm going to start shutting this down because I've got to get some things done before the next show. We have another show today, guys. Set your reminder. Had a lot of new faces in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, Jay is our voice of reason. Jay is the voice of reason. Hit the sub button as I'm closing this down. Get reminded because we're going to be back here at 2:00 Central Time. Bella said maybe not just Kylie in the car. Like something, the way he said it, he was prepared for a car. He was prepared for a person in the car. He said he wasn't prepared for this. Wasn't prepared for what he came across. We don't know what that is. We're going to know someday because if they try to put a bow on it and put it in a nice little box and say, there you go, she had an accident. Get on with your life. You heard Lindsay. Go get a hobby. They already said we're going to put the rest out. It's going to come out anyway. It's all going to come out. So, guys, more is going to come out at 2:00. We have another case we're talking about out of North Carolina. 2 teens that were murdered over the weekend. Definitely foul play. Looks like another teen did it. It's crazy for sure. So hit your reminder, hit the sub button, come back in a couple of hours. Jay's going to be back. He'll either at least be in chat or might come up and say hi to us. You never know. He's a busy guy. He's our voice.
Well, thank you for having me as always. And everyone in chat, please hit that like on your way out.
Yep. Did you hit the like button, Jay?
Always.
All right. Jay always hits the like button. All right, guys. See you back here in a couple hours. Mod Squad, way to represent as always. You guys are the best. And in between, I'll see you guys over in Discord. Always, always good to see the best chat and best community on YouTube. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye.